Cole Weston's hands shook on the steering wheel. His heart beat so fast it hurt. Where was she? Where was his little girl? The big black car raced through the dark streets. Rain poured down hard. The wipers moved back and forth, but Cole could barely see. His eyes were full of tears he refused to let fall. Elsie was gone. His 3-year-old daughter. Gone from her bedroom. Gone from the mansion. Just gone. "Sir, I'm sure she's safe," his driver had said. But Cole didn't want to hear it. He grabbed the keys himself and ran. The estate manager had called him during his business meeting. "Mr. Weston, I'm sorry to disturb you, but the child is not in her room, and Nora the maid is also missing." Cole's blood turned cold. Then it turned hot with anger. Nora Vance, the quiet woman with kind eyes who had worked in his home for only 6 months. The woman he barely noticed. The woman he trusted with his daughter. She took Elsie. She must have taken her. Why would she do this? Cole hit the steering wheel hard. His mind raced with terrible thoughts. Was Nora going to ask for money? Was she going to hurt Elsie? No, that didn't feel right. But nothing made sense. 5 nannies before Nora had quit. They all gave excuses. The house is too quiet. The child cries too much. I can't work in such sadness. One by one they left, but Nora stayed. She never complained. She took care of Elsie every day with a soft smile. She fed her, bathed her, held her when she cried at night. Cole felt a sharp pain in his chest. The truth was, he should have been the one holding Elsie. But he couldn't. Every time he looked at his daughter, he saw his wife. Sarah's green eyes. Sarah's button nose. Sarah's little laugh. Sarah was dead, and looking at Elsie hurt too much. So he worked. He worked late every night. He took business trips. He stayed in his office, away from Elsie, away from the pain. The car turned onto a narrow street. Small houses lined both sides. Paint peeled off the walls. Street lights flickered. This was the poor part of town. Cole's fancy car didn't belong here. Neither did he. He pulled out a crumpled piece of paper. Nora's address. The estate manager had found it in her file. Number 47, Cole whispered. There it was. A tiny house with a crooked fence. One dim light glowed in the window. Cole jumped out of the car. Rain soaked his expensive suit. He didn't care. He marched up to the front door, his fist raised and knock hard. But then he stopped. Music. Very soft music floated through the air. No, not music. Singing. Someone was singing. Cole stepped off the small porch. His shoes splashed in puddles. He moved to the window. The curtains were thin. He could see inside. His breath caught in his throat. There, in an old rocking chair, sat Nora. Her dark hair fell around her face. Her eyes were closed. And in her arms, wrapped in a pink blanket, was Elsie. His Elsie. Safe. Sleeping peacefully. Nora rocked slowly. Back and forth. Back and forth. And she sang. Her voice was gentle and sweet. Hush now, little star so bright. Mama's here throughout the night. Dream of gardens. Dream of trees. Dream of sailing on the seas. Cole's legs went weak. He grabbed the window frame to steady himself. That song. That lullaby. No, it couldn't be. His heart shattered into a million pieces. Close your eyes and drift away. Tomorrow brings another day. I'll be here when morning comes. My precious one, my only one. Cole's vision blurred. Tears ran down his face, mixing with the rain. That was Sarah's lullaby. Sarah made it up when Elsie was born. She sang it every single night. Cole had never heard anyone else sing it. Ever. How? How did Nora know it? Through the window, he watched Elsie's tiny chest rise and fall. She was breathing, but it sounded rough. Even from outside, Cole could hear a wheeze. A rattle. Was she sick? Nora opened her eyes. She looked down at Elsie with so much love. She pressed her lips to Elsie's forehead. There you go, sweet girl. You're getting better. I promise. You're safe now. Cole's anger melted away like ice in the sun. But confusion took its place. And guilt. So much guilt. Why was his daughter here? Why was she sick? Why hadn't anyone told him? Why was Nora singing Sarah's secret lullaby? He needed answers. Now, Cole walked back to the door. This time he knocked softly. 3 gentle taps. The singing stopped. Footsteps. Quiet footsteps moved toward the door. The lock clicked. The door opened just a crack. Nora's face appeared. Her eyes went wide when she saw him. "Mr. Weston," she whispered. Her voice shook a little, but she didn't look scared. She looked calm. Too calm. "Where's my daughter?" Cole's voice came out rough. Broken. "She's here. She's safe." "Safe." Cole's hands curled into fists. "You took her from her home. From her bed. Without asking me. Without telling anyone. Do you know what I thought? Do you know how scared I was?" Nora didn't back away. She stood in the doorway, blocking his view. "I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But please, Mr. Weston, lower your voice." Elsie just fell asleep. It took 3 hours to calm her coughing. Coughing? Cole's anger flickered. "What are you talking about?" "Come inside," Nora said quietly. "Come inside and I'll explain everything. But you must be quiet, and you must listen." She opened the door wider. Cole stepped into the small house. It was warm, so warm. A fire burned in a tiny fireplace. The smell of soup filled the air. Old furniture, but clean. Poor, but full of love. Nothing like his cold, empty mansion. Nora led him to the corner where the rocking chair sat. And there she was, Elsie, his baby girl, sleeping in a nest of blankets. Cole's knees almost gave out. He wanted to run to her, scoop her up, hold her tight. But something stopped him. He heard it, the rattling in her chest with each breath, the slight wheeze. "She's sick," Cole whispered. "Yes," Nora said. She stood next to him. "Very sick. And there's a lot you need to know, Mr. Weston. A lot I need to tell you." Cole turned to face her. "Then start talking. Now." Nora took a deep breath. "It started 3 days ago." Nora walked to a small table by the fire. She picked up a teacup. Her hands wrapped around it like she needed the warmth. 3 days ago, Elsie woke up with a cough," Nora began. Her voice was steady but sad. "At first, I thought it was just a small cold. You know how children get sick sometimes." Cole said nothing. He watched Elsie sleep. His jaw was tight. "But by the afternoon, she got worse," Nora continued. "Much worse. Her forehead burned with fever. She couldn't stop coughing. Every breath sounded painful, like something was stuck in her chest." Cole's fist clenched. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" "I tried," Nora said. Her voice broke a little. "I went to Mr. Barnes, the estate manager. I told him Elsie needed a doctor right away. And—" Cole's voice was sharp. "He said no." The room went silent. Only the crackle of the fire and Elsie's rough breathing filled the air. "What?" Cole turned to face her fully. His face was red. "He said no?" Nora nodded. "He said you were in important meetings. He said you left strict orders not to be disturbed unless it was an emergency. My daughter being sick, I.S. an emergency." Cole's voice rose. "Sure." Nora glanced at Elsie. "Please." Cole covered his face with his hands. He took deep breaths. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter but full of pain. "Go on." "Mr. Barnes said he couldn't call a doctor without your permission," Nora said. "He said it would be too expensive, that I was probably overreacting, that children cough all the time." "That fool," Cole whispered. "I begged him." Nora's voice cracked. "I begged him to at least try to reach you. But he wouldn't. He said you'd be angry if he interrupted your business for something small." Cole felt sick. His own rules, his own distance. It had hurt his daughter. So yesterday, Nora said, Elsie got even worse. She couldn't eat. She barely drank water. Her cough sounded like it was tearing her apart from the inside. Tears rolled down Nora's cheeks now. She didn't wipe them away. Last night, she couldn't breathe right. She was gasping. Her lips started turning blue. Nora's voice shook. "I couldn't wait any more. I couldn't watch her suffer. So you brought her here. Cole finished. Yes. Nora looked him straight in the eyes. I packed a bag. I took Elsie. And I left. I knew I'd lose my job. I knew you'd be angry. But I didn't care. Her life is worth more than any job. Cole felt something crack inside his chest. This woman, this poor woman who had nothing, she risked everything to save his daughter, while he sat in fancy meetings. I called my friend, Nora said. She's a nurse at the free clinic. She came here last night. She checked Elsie. She said it was a bad chest infection, maybe even the start of pneumonia. Cole's blood ran cold. Pneumonia. Children died from pneumonia. My friend gave me medicine. Nora continued. She showed me how to use a steamy bowl to help Elsie breathe, how to prop her up so the fluid could drain. I stayed up all night. Every hour I checked her. Every hour I held her. Nora walked closer to Cole. She looked tired, so very tired. I didn't steal your daughter, Mr. Weston, she said softly. I saved her. Cole couldn't speak. His throat felt tight. His eyes burned. He looked at Elsie again. Her cheeks were flushed with fever, but she was breathing easier now. The medicine was working because of Nora. The lullaby, Cole finally whispered. How do you know that lullaby? Nora's face changed. It became softer, sadder. Your wife taught it to me, she said. Cole's heart stopped. What? You didn't know I met her, did you? Nora asked gently. You met Sarah? Yes. Nora sat down in the rocking chair again. She looked at Elsie with so much tenderness. Before I came to work at your mansion, I worked at Mercy Hospice. I was a night nurse there. Cole's legs felt weak. He grabbed the back of a chair. Your wife was there for 3 weeks at the end, Nora said. I took care of her during the night shifts. I held her hand. I gave her water. I talked to her when the pain was too much to sleep. Tears poured down Cole's face now. He didn't try to stop them. She was so kind, Nora whispered. Even when she was dying, she worried about everyone else. She worried about the other patients, about the nurses working too hard. Nora paused. But most of all, she worried about Elsie and about you. Me? Cole's voice cracked. She talked about you all the time, Nora said. She told me how much she loved you, how good you were, how you made her laugh, how you built a crib with your own hands when Elsie was born. Cole remembered. He remembered every moment with Sarah. The good times before the cancer, before the pain, before he lost her. One night, Nora continued, Sarah couldn't sleep. The pain was bad. So I asked her to tell me about Elsie, to help distract her. Nora's eyes became distant, like she was seeing that night again. She smiled. Even through the pain, she smiled. And she started singing that lullaby. She told me she made it up herself. She sang it twice so I could learn it. She said, Nora's voice broke. She said, when I'm gone, Elsie will need someone to sing this to her. Cole won't be able to. It will hurt him too much. Cole's knees gave out. He sank to the floor. His whole body shook with sobs. Sarah knew. She knew he wouldn't be strong enough. She asked me to promise something. Nora said quietly. She made me promise that if I ever got the chance, I would watch over Elsie. I would protect her. I would love her. So when the hospice called me 6 months ago, Nora continued, and said there was an opening at the Weston estate, I knew it was meant to be. I took the job, not for the money, but to keep my promise to Sarah. Cole looked up at Nora through his tears. This woman, this beautiful, selfless woman. Every night, Nora said, when I put Elsie to bed, I sing that lullaby, just like your wife asked me to, because Elsie deserves to hear it. She deserves to feel her mother's love, even if Sarah can't be here. Cole crawled across the floor to the rocking chair. He knelt beside it. He looked at his sleeping daughter. I'm sorry, he whispered. Elsie, I'm so sorry. She needs you, Nora said softly. Not your money, not your big house. She needs her father. I don't know how, Cole admitted. His voice was raw. Every time I look at her, it hurts so much. I see Sarah everywhere. The pain is too much. I know, Nora said. Your wife knew too. That's why. She stopped. What? Cole looked up at her. That's why what? Nora stood up carefully, holding Elsie. She walked to a small drawer. She pulled out an envelope. It was sealed with red wax. On the front, in beautiful handwriting, it said, "To Cole. Open when you're ready to truly see." Cole's hand shook as he took it. What is this? Your wife gave this to me the night before she died, Nora said. She made me promise to give it to you when the time was right, when you were ready to hear her words. Cole stared at the envelope. Sarah's last words, waiting for him all this time. I think, Nora said gently, tonight is the right time. Cole's fingers trembled as he held the envelope. Sarah's handwriting. He hadn't seen it in so long. Just looking at the curves of the letters made his heart ache. I can't, he whispered. I'm not ready. You are, Nora said gently. She adjusted Elsie in her arms. You're here, aren't you? You came for your daughter. That's the first step. Cole looked at the red wax seal. Sarah had touched this. Her hands had folded this paper. Her breath had whispered over these words. He broke the seal. The paper inside was soft, like Sarah had held it many times before sealing it. Cole unfolded it with shaking hands. The first words nearly broke him. My dearest Cole, if you're reading this, then I'm gone. And if Nora gave this to you, it means you've lost your way. I know you, my love. I know you so well. I know that when I die, you'll run. You'll hide from the pain. You'll bury yourself in work and meetings and anything that keeps you from feeling. But Cole, you can't run from Elsie. She's just a baby. She needs you. Cole's tears fell onto the paper, making the ink blur. He wiped them quickly, not one to damage Sarah's words. I know looking at her hurts. I know she has my eyes, my smile, my laugh. And I know every time you see her, you'll see me. You'll remember what you lost. But darling, please try to see what you still have. Elsie is not just a memory of me. She is her own person. She is half you, half me, and completely herself. She is funny and brave and curious. She will grow up to be amazing, but only if you let yourself be her father. Cole's chest heaved with sobs. He pressed the letter to his heart. Keep reading, Nora whispered. There's more. Cole forced himself to look at the paper again. I'm not asking you to forget me. I'm not asking you to stop hurting. Pain is proof of love, and I want you to love me forever. But I'm asking you not to let that pain build a wall between you and our daughter. Hold her, Cole, even when it hurts. Sing to her, even when your voice breaks. Tell her stories about me. Show her pictures. Let her know who her mama was. Don't love her from far away. Don't hide in your office while she grows up without you. Because one day, you'll look up and she'll be grown. And all those moments, all those hugs and bedtime stories and scraped knees, you'll have missed them all, and you can never get them back. Cole let out a sound that was half cry, half moan. It came from deep in his soul. All the pain he'd been holding in for months came pouring out. I'm sorry, he sobbed. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I failed you. I failed Elsie. No, Nora said firmly. You're not failing. You're here now. That's what matters. Cole wiped his eyes and kept reading through blurry vision. I asked Nora to watch over Elsie if she ever got the chance. She's a good woman, Cole. She has a kind heart. Trust her. Let her help you. And please, my love, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not being perfect. Forgive yourself for grieving. Forgive yourself for being human. Elsie needs her daddy, not a perfect man. Just you, the real you, the man I fell in love with. The man who cried during children's movies and burned pancakes and danced with me in the kitchen. Be that man for Elsie. Please, I love you both so much. More than all the stars in the sky. More than all the grains of sand on the beach. More than anything in this world or the next. Forever yours, Sarah. P.S. The lullaby I taught Nora, I want you to learn it too. Yes, it will hurt at first. Yes, you might cry, but sing it anyway. Because Elsie deserves to hear it from you, from her daddy. Your voice matters to her. You matter to her. Cole folded the letter carefully. He held it against his chest like it was the most precious thing in the world. Then he stood up. His legs felt weak, but he was steady enough. He walked to where Nora sat holding Elsie. "Can I?" His voice cracked. "Can I hold her?" Nora's face lit up with a warm smile. "Of course. She's your daughter." She stood carefully and placed Elsie in Cole's arms. The moment Elsie's weight settled against his chest, something inside Cole shifted. She was so small, so warm, so alive. He'd been avoiding this closeness, this connection, because he was scared. Scared of loving her too much. Scared of losing someone again. But Sarah was right. He couldn't love Elsie from far away. That wasn't really love at all. Elsie stirred in his arms. Her eyes fluttered open. Those green eyes. Sarah's eyes. But Cole didn't run from the pain this time. He looked into those eyes and saw something new. He saw his daughter, his Elsie, the little girl who needed him. "Hi, baby," Cole whispered. His voice was thick with tears. "It's Daddy. I'm here. I'm so sorry I wasn't here before. But I'm here now, and I'm not leaving again." Elsie's tiny hand reached up and touched his wet cheek. Her fingers were so small, so gentle. "Dada," she said. Her voice was hoarse from coughing, but clear enough. Cole's heart exploded with love. She remembered him. After all these months of distance, she still knew him. "Yes, sweetheart. Dada's here." Elsie coughed a little. Cole held her closer, supporting her just like he'd seen Nora do. "She's getting better," Nora said softly. "The medicine is working. She'll be okay." "Thanks to you," Cole said, looking at Nora with tears in his eyes. "You saved her life. How can I ever repay you?" "You don't need to repay me," Nora said. "Just be the father she needs. That's all the payment I want." Cole nodded. He looked down at Elsie again. She was getting sleepy, her eyes drooping. "Will you?" Cole's voice shook. "Will you teach me? The lullaby? I want to learn it. I need to learn it." Nora's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, of course." She began singing softly, line by line, and Cole repeated after her, his voice broken and rough at first. "Hush now, little star so bright." "Hush now, little star so bright," Cole echoed. "Mama's here throughout the night." Cole paused. His throat closed up, but he pushed through. "Mama's here throughout the night." Because Sarah was there, in this song, in Elsie's eyes, in the love that filled this small, humble house. They sang together, Nora and Cole, their voices blending. And slowly, Cole began to remember, not just the words, but the feeling, the love, the hope. By the time they finished, Elsie was fast asleep in her father's arms. Her breathing was easier now, peaceful. Cole didn't want to let her go. He swayed back and forth, holding her close. "Mr. Weston," Nora said quietly, "you can stay here tonight if you want. I have a spare blanket. You can sleep on the couch. That way you can be near her." Cole looked around the tiny house. It was nothing like his mansion. No expensive furniture. No marble floors. No fancy decorations. But it had something his mansion didn't have. Warmth. Love. Life. "Thank you," Cole whispered, "for everything. For saving Elsie. For keeping your promise to Sarah. For not giving up on us." "I never would," Nora said. She touched Elsie's head gently. "She's too special. And so are you." That night, Cole slept on Nora's old couch, wrapped in a worn blanket. Elsie slept nearby in the rocking chair, nestled in blankets. Nora dozed in a chair by the fire, ready to jump up if Elsie needed anything. It was uncomfortable, cramped, nothing like Cole's king-size bed, but it was the best sleep he'd had in months. Because he wasn't running anymore. He wasn't hiding. He was exactly where he needed to be, with his daughter, ready to be the father she deserved. When morning came, Cole made a decision. He would take Elsie home, yes, but things would be different now. He would fire the estate manager, who refused to help. He would ask Nora to stay, not just as a maid, but as family. Someone who loved Elsie as much as he did. And most importantly, he would be present. He would hold Elsie every day, read to her, play with her, sing to her. He would sing that lullaby every single night, just like Sarah wanted. As the sun rose and light filled the small house, Cole held his daughter close and hummed the tune. Elsie opened her eyes and smiled at him, really smiled, and for the first time in months, Cole smiled back, a real smile, full of hope. He'd found his way home, not to a mansion of marble and gold, but to something far more valuable, to love, to family, to the daughter who needed him, and he would never lose his way again. This story reminds us that true wealth isn't measured in money, but in the love we give and receive. If this touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe for more stories that inspire, uplift, and remind us what really matters in life. Thank you for reading.